It's Never the Chess here. This video is about the reasons that we lose. Well, the reasons I lose anyway. So I broke 1000 ELO a little while ago on chess.com, and I've since fallen clean through the floor. I've obviously got to climb back up, right? But how? Well, not making the same mistakes over and over again would be a start. What mistakes? Glad you asked, let's get into it. I've analysed loads of my losses over the last week to see what the heck has been going on, and I've identified a few concepts that plague every last one of them. First up, the basic principles of the opening. Sometimes I get a little crazy and play moves that break the opening principles. So what are the opening principles? Controlling the center. This means fighting for d4, d5, e4, and e5 in some way. Whoever controls the center has the most influence on the rest of the board. Develop pieces, not pawns. Pawns aren't pieces. You've got to get the pieces out. Knights before bishops is the general principle here. On this note, develop in ways that attack the opponent. No more useless developing moves. The other guy gains a tempo on me when I do this, and he develops with tempo. No thanks. Develop pieces, not pawns, in ways that control the center and or attack the opponent's pieces. Castle early. Pro players don't castle early all the time. Some don't castle at all in some games. But I'm not a pro player. Castle early, get the king safe. Those are the basic principles of the opening. Control the center, develop your pieces, not pawns, with tempo, and get the king to safety. Speaking of the opening, another reason I lose? Not actually knowing any openings. Some people say don't do it, some people say to do it. I say do it. Just do it. Pick one you like, practice it, learn it, stick with it. You'll build layers upon layers on the openings that you choose. I say openings because you should probably need at least 2 or maybe 3. You need 1 for white at least, and you'll probably need 1 or 2 for black. You could just play the King's Indian defense every game on black and be done with that. Or you can work on an opening to combat one e4, like the Karakan, or one d4, like the Semislav. It's more to learn than just one opening, but, you know, whatever you do. You just learn an opening, probably 2 or 3. You don't need to learn like 30 moves deep either. Even just 5 to 6 moves would be absolutely fantastic for beginners like myself. Just keep building on your openings and develop them over time. They'll get bigger and more in-depth, and you'll win more games when you start to learn what the best moves from you are in each situation and what moves the opponent makes that can be punished. So not knowing any openings is the second reason that I lose. The third reason, now this is kind of a coverall, just broad umbrella, captures everything, is one-move blunders. This is the main part. This is where everything comes together or completely falls apart. One-move blunders. What's a one-move blunder? Well, it's when you make a move and it's a blunder. Yep, these moves end the game. You might not realize it's over in the moment, but an opponent that's paying attention will see your mistake and they will punish you all the way until they win the game, unless they also make a one-move blunder and you spot it and can either equalize or start winning from there. One-move blunders are very common for me and other players my level. We have to stop them. How? Well, here's a few things that have sort of popped up in my games, quite a lot in my losses, or even the wins from the opponent, and I've spotted them in real time. First one is hanging pieces. I think this is actually the main one. It's a simple little concept, hanging pieces, but they're at the heart of my one-move blunders in one way or another, like every single time. A hanging piece is a piece that is not defended by anything. It's just out in the opening, waiting to be captured by anyone that spots it. That's just not acceptable, obviously. When you make a move, we need to start thinking about things. Will this piece be safe if I move it here? If the square is defended, is it adequately defended? Do you have more attackers on the square than the opponent does? Figuring this out lets you know if you'll be able to win the exchange should one occur. Remember that they don't always have to occur. Overthinking and overcomplicating situations like that is another reason we lose. We have a look at, like, if I take here, he takes, this takes, a whole bunch of takes, and then the guy just pushes h3. And you didn't calculate for any of that. It's just some random move that just wasn't. It's just we overcomplicate things and we lose because we're doing this. Always be looking for checks when spotting undefended pieces as well. You might think a piece isn't under attack on a certain square, but can something check your king and then take it? If so, that's an undefended square, and moving to it is a one-move blunder that could cost you the game. Hanging pieces is such a large issue for players at my level. If you go through your own games, how many have been won or lost based on a mistake or blunder from yourself or your opponent? What was the mistake or the blunder about? From my experience, it's highly likely that it's related to a piece that was undefended or creating a situation that leads to capturing an undefended piece, such as checking the king and then moving to capture the piece. Another reason that I lose is just bad board vision. This is kind of the same as the last point, one move blunders, but it's a little more specific to certain situations for me. This is like long range bishop attacks and also knight forks, at least in my experience. Sometimes bishops can catch me. I don't identify them every time as actually attacking a square or as defending a square, and then they come flying in from out of nowhere and take my stuff. Not cool. Same with knights. The way they move isn't very intuitive to me, especially not looking at where they could be and what they could check a move or two ahead. It's just bad board vision. Walking into knight forks is terrible, but it happens all the time. When the opponent moves a knight, I have to pay very close attention to where its next places to land can be and what it can attack from those positions. Paying attention to this will help you spot those annoying knight forks that let them check your king and take your queen, or check your queen and rook at the same time, all of that annoying stuff. If the opponent makes a knight move, or any piece to be fair, but it's the knights especially for me, I've got to start asking myself, why? They're obviously plotting something. Another reason for losses, and this is again related to one move blunders, removing defenders without remembering or identifying the purpose they were serving on their current square. How many times have you gone to kick a knight with a pawn only to have a bishop come flying in from outer space to take your queen or your rook that was behind it because you moved the pawn that was blocking the bishop's vision? It sucks. Before making a move, have a think about what purpose that piece was serving. With pawns especially, every single pawn move you make weakens their position. They cannot move backwards, so they leave weaknesses in their wake with every single step forward that they take. Be very careful when moving pawns. Make sure you're not leaving a piece it was either blocking or defending undefended by removing it. A quick recap here. Reasons I lose: not following the core principles of controlling the center, developing pieces with tempo, and not castling early enough. Not knowing any openings beyond like move 2. One move blunders mostly revolved around undefended pieces, either by putting them to squares that are not adequately defended or just aren't defended at all, or by removing a piece that was blocking or defending a square, which opens up that square to attack. Another square to attack, I should say. And bad board vision, especially when it comes to bishops and knights. So these are the reasons I have identified that I lose quite a lot. So now what I'm actually going to do is jump into a live game, put some of this stuff into action, and hopefully take home a win. Let's go. If this looks weirdly edited, it's because I lost. And then I've just put in a win. Alright, so we're against Dresden, and we're going to play the King's Pawn opening. King's Pawn opening, e4. So he's played, the Borg defense. I don't understand that. I'm going to play Knight f3. I don't know what the Borg defense is. I haven't seen it before. So he's developed his bishop to g7. Usually, push here. It is actually defended, but I want to develop pieces, not pawns. That's what, well, actually developing this bishop just puts me under attack. But then I could open up my queen. I kind of like it. I'm going to do it. Maybe the pawn was better. Pawn, I could take it back with the knight at least. Now he's played e6. I don't know why. What I'm going to do is play d4 now. Just to take control of the center. We are controlling the center. Look at all these central squares we're controlling. The knights are also hitting... well, not that one. The knights are also controlling, some squares. Those two for this one. Now my knight is actually under attack here. I'm gonna develop my knight out because I can hit this pawn here. I can hit it with my queen. He can't move this to open up the bishop. He can't do anything to actually prevent the attack here. So now he has taken my knight with his bishop. I will capture him with my pawn. D takes e5. And now we're looking at this position. This is a completely undefended piece that he has on g4. But I also have an undefended piece here on e5 now that I've done that capture. What? Okay. So, yes, he's attacking my pawn. This is also under attack. This is also under attack. So here in this position, I could either do this, his queen comes out, or I can take this, then he takes here. And he doubles his pawns. What I'm going to do is play this move here, take his pawn, let him double his pawn structure, let him ruin his own pawn structure instead of the other way around. So now I'm going to play bishop, comes out, and attack his queen. Probably should have developed this one, actually. Probably should have developed this. Now, in this position, this pawn's undefended. None of my pieces are undefended. I haven't got a single undefended piece. The knight's defended by my pawn. This pawn's defended by the knight. This also the queen. And then the bishop here. I'll just take that, actually. That's just a free piece. He's just hung a piece, which is one of the reasons that we lose at this level. He's hung a piece. He's moved his knight here to attack my queen, not realizing that nothing's defending his knight. So I just take the knight. Are we in the business of taking free pieces? Absolutely we are. And now I could just no, that's not a good move. That's yeah, his rook prevents that attack. I'm still looking at this. I wish I knew what he was threatening here. I think he's looking to attack my... Well, actually, let's have a look. What he's managed to do here is he has managed to defend this square, and is attacking this, which is currently undefended. So that was actually a very good move from my opponent, I believe. And I can't actually maintain a defense on that and attack that at the same time. So what I'm going to have to do then is maybe something like that. I could develop my bishop here, attack his rook, and also attack his queen, and he can't take it back because actually he could. No, he can't take it back. He can't take it back because of my queen. So I'll place my bishop here, looking to attack either his rook or his queen. So I've forked him. He can't take it back because my queen will win that exchange. So he's moved his queen into a sort of... I can see what he was doing. He was attacking this. So he was defending his own pawn and attacking my bishop. But unfortunately, it's exposed. It's exposed a little flaw in his defenses. And I've managed to fork both his rook and his queen. I am going to take one of them next turn. Now I can actually... No, I can't. No, I was going to, but... That's a pretty cool move from my opponent there. I think that's actually a pretty cool move. If I take here, then he can take. I'm actually up material, so I'm actually going to do it. Now win his rook. So we'll just go back through that just for a quick second. Let's just go back through that. Now in this move, I've gone here, forked both his rook and his queen. He's came down to attack my queen. The problem with this is that I can take his queen, which I did. He takes my queen. I still win the rook. He still hasn't dealt with the bishop. So now I'm up a rook as well. Now this is not undefended anymore, but this square is undefended. So he's left a weakness here, right here on g4. So in this position, I'm going to just push pawn. Now if he takes it, I can open up my He's got his bishop out here, but I don't know why. I'm just going to take this and open up a nice little slot here. Now I'm going to play... Okay, so what's his knight attacking? It could go there, which is currently not actually defended. Or it could go there. He's up to something. I'm not entirely sure what. So what I'm going to do in this right here is probably push my pawn, actually. Now he's castled, which was a good move. It was a good move. Unfortunately, I can put some pressure on it. And now if he goes there, he can't actually take it because my pawn's defending. He can't actually take that square. So now I'm going to basically just look to come after him. Now there's that check. He has to take it. I'll take it with my... Now he's got no rooks. His knights came down, which I can basically just ignore entirely and keep pushing my pawn. I'm in check. I knew what he was doing there. I just didn't care because I'm about to end the game here with a checkmate. Oh, he's moved. That was a great move from him. That was a great move from him. But I am still going to develop my. Still going to do this. All right. So now we want to start getting in here. Let's attack his bishop. I'm up so much material. I do want to start converting it into an advantage. I've taken advantage of some hanging pieces and whatnot, and I want to start converting it into an advantage now. Which I can do. Right here, I think. And if he takes, I can take it back, and it's okay. And it's okay. So we'll see what his next move is. And then I'm going to want to attack this, because if he takes it this way, my queen comes in and takes it anyway. I'll just take that with the pawn. Take that one with the knight. If he takes it, I'll just take it anyway. Now I'll actually take it with the queen, because now I've got a fork. I'm hitting here, and I'm going to take that as well. So I'll hit here, check him. He's got to move either of these. He can't move there, actually. So he's moved up. We'll just hit him with another check then. Okay. So now I might just keep pushing. I'm sure there's ways to do the mate. I'm not good enough for that kind of thing. I'm not even going to bother trying. He could actually just take that. That was bad. I left that piece completely undefended for him to take, unfortunately. Bad play on my behalf. I should not have played that move. Trying to do a match on undefended pieces. Well, that was an undefended piece. That was an undefended piece. I'm just going to keep pushing this pawn. Now he has captured it. Now I'm basically in business to just end the game here. Actually, he can move down because I blocked the line of sight with my guy. Now we just come in and sort of suffocate him and close him off. We just end it now. That's the end of the game there. Checkmate. So let's just run through it. Let's run back through it and have a look at blunders, mistakes, all that sort of thing. All that sort of thing. It's going to look a little weird until it fixes up. It's going to look a little weird until it fixes up, and then I can touch on the moments that I was talking about prior to the game. So here we go. I've got the analysis up. I've only got 29.2 accuracy here. I do have a missed win, 6 inaccuracies. He's got 14.3 intense. Nice win. I was never in trouble, apparently. Just trying to keep things in mind. You can see that just the score keeps creeping up and up and up, and I probably blundered some checkmates or whatnot. So let's go through it then. Key moments. I'm not too sure if I'll bother with the key moments. I might just go through in the analysis. So the Borg defense is a book move. Knight was right. His bishop was terrible. But why was his bishop terrible? Because what's it even doing? What is it even doing? If he was to play this move, the engine says that his next move should have been here. He should have just continued pushing his pawn, because then I'd have to move my knight. So maybe my knight there wasn't actually that good. Maybe I need to keep that in mind, because if someone was to... I'd have to move my knight twice in the opening, which is something that we're not supposed to do. Another little thing, don't move your pieces twice in the opening if you don't have to. Unless you have a very good reason, don't do it. Because in this position, if he'd actually moved down, I'd have to move my knight twice in the opening, and that'd get a little weird for me. Then I've not actually spotted that his piece was undefended. Well, I guess that would have been moving twice in the opening. But look at that, his pawn on g5 was actually completely undefended in my little video talking about undefended pieces. This is going to happen because of my level. It's just something I need to work on. That's kind of the point of it. I was looking to develop my pieces. Should have just taken his free pawn. And look at this right here. This is a great example of one of the core principles. Controlling the center. Literally says d4 is the best move. Bang. Controlling the center. Now this pawn can, all of these squares are controlled. d4, best move, controls the center. Then he has pushed his pawn finally. I've then moved my knight over to here. Actually, it says the best move was just to retreat entirely. But I did move there because I knew that he can't take because of my pawn there. Now he has taken, bishop takes e5 is a mistake. h5 was best. Do I capitalize on this? Yes, we do. We take him back. Now, I do have double pawns, and this one's undefended, though. f6 is an inaccuracy because of that. The exact move that I played. So he plays f6, looking to defend this pawn, maybe not seeing that this pawn is completely hanging. His pawn on g4 is hanging, which I snapped up with the queen because I spotted it. Then he's played f takes e5, so he has taken, but he should have developed his queen here. And then I've actually developed my bishop, but it wasn't the best move. I should have checked and then taken his pawn. I should have checked and then taken his pawn, which is something that I think might have entered my mind. But it's kind of funny that I literally mentioned this in the discussion at the start about those moments where I could check his king and then take. Because where I am right now, I obviously can't take. My queen's not a knight. But I could check his king and then take his undefended piece. This exact situation is what I was talking about in the video, and I didn't spot it while I was actually playing. I developed my bishop looking to add pressure to attack his queen, which, as we know, did turn out in my favor, but I could have checked his king and then took his piece from my new position. He plays knight to h6, which was a mistake, and we spotted that in real time, because while he is attacking my queen, yes, his knight's actually not defended. So we take it, and apparently that wasn't even the best move. I still should have checked his king. Still should have checked his king, and then taken this. And oh, are you seeing this? I should have checked his king, taken this. His rook is actually under attack here. So that is so nasty. And with my queen in this position, it's defending the bishop as well. So if I check his king, take this, I'm defending the bishop, attacking the rook. That's still under attack from the bishop. I think his move would probably be to go there next. But that's not what happened. I did play bishop takes h6. He's played queen to f6, which was a good move, and we did spot that was a good move at the time. Queen f6 defends this piece, attacks the bishop. Here it's still telling me that I should have played queen h5 check, but I actually liked the move that I played. I still think this was a fantastic move because of the fork and the complications that it had. Well, he could have actually defended that whole idea with his rook quite well. So maybe my idea only works against blunders, against bad moves. But he played h5, which was a mistake, as we saw in the game, because I'm actually able to take, which we'll see. I just take his queen, he takes my queen, then I lose. Then I win his rook because of his bad move, because of this. So this is not fully thinking through the move, sort of tunnel visioning on, okay, let's attack the queen, not paying enough attention to what the bishop is actually doing and how the queen here is undefended. So after I take this, that's undefended, my bishop is free to just take the rook after he does this. So that's exactly what happened. Then he's pushed d6, which it says was actually the best move. And the reason it was the best move, it defends this square, because otherwise my bishop would have just taken his queen, taken his rook, and then come back and taken his pawn on e5. So it was a very, very good move from him, the best move literally from the engine. According to the engine, defends this piece. Very good. Then I've actually played the best move as well. h3. h3. Looking to attack this and open this file up and start pushing a pawn. He plays bishop to d7, which it says was excellent, and then I've taken, which is apparently the best move because it was undefended. But he didn't actually have any way of defending it. So I've taken it. He's developed a knight. Then I should have, the engine actually tells me that I should have taken here. The reason I'm not fully certain of, let's see. It says I should have taken, then he should castle. Right, so he wouldn't even take it back. Interesting. Then he does actually castle. Does castle, and then there's bishop f6, which is great, which is the best move. His rook comes out. I pushed my rook up to here. I didn't even consider this pawn move here. Didn't even consider g6. g6 means he would take, rook takes f6. I would lose this and I would win his rook if he was to do it. The best move for him would be to take here. Okay. Didn't even consider that. So he takes, I take, he pushes his knight, I push, he forks. Well, I knew that was coming, and I didn't actually care because I knew that I was going to be promoting. So I moved the king into the best position. He takes my rook. Then he blunders here. b6 is a blunder, mate in 7. Mate in 7, which I didn't realize at the time. b6 is a blunder, mate in 7. He should have moved. He should have done a bigger step there. Mate in 7's a fair bit out. No one at my level is ever going to spot a mate in 7 unless it's entirely forced. Well, I guess it would be forced, actually. Then apparently promoting is actually a missed win. I should have checked him with the bishop, which I did not see. I did not see that. Always be looking for checks. Maybe that's another piece of advice that we should take in mind. as beginners what checks are available in each move. If that was actually in my head, maybe I might have seen this. I did not even realize that I could check here. I'm not sure what that check would accomplish, except had I spotted it, I think I probably would have played it knowing that if he goes here or here, my next move would be to promote. So here I've actually had promoted, and then he's moved into the best position because now I can't actually play that check now. Here's a blunder. C6 is a blunder. It's gone to a mate in 6. This blunder. Yeah, he was trying to attack my bishop, but I could just move my bishop away, which I did, which was an inaccuracy apparently. It goes down from a mate in 5 to a mate in 10. I should have pushed my queen out to d8 because this bishop is unprotected. Bishop is unprotected. I would take it with check. I would actually take it with check because he can't move there because of my bishop here. Didn't see that. I did not see that. I didn't see that. Take the bishop with check. Move into position. Take the bishop. I like it. And then from this point in time, it's basically just the end game stuff. There's some inaccuracies here. I was mostly just trying to push my pieces and end the game. At this point, yeah, we've got him. We've checkmated him, sort of in the center of the board. So that's cool. That was the end of my video. Let's just have a quick recap. Just again, reasons that we lose as beginners: not following the core opening principles of controlling the center, developing pieces with tempo and not castling early enough, not knowing any openings beyond like move 2, one move blunders which are mostly revolved around undefended pieces, either by putting them to squares that are not adequately defended or aren't defended at all, or by removing a piece that was blocking or defending a square, which opens up other squares to attack, and then bad board vision when it comes to bishop and knights. And then we ran through a game, and I played a live game against just a random person, Dreadston, and we capitalized on some things. We kept some of it in mind as much as possible. Developed my pieces, attacked hanging pieces, had some hanging pieces myself, ended up being able to win and capitalize on it. I think, even in the game and run through the analysis, there was little things in there that we still need to work on. still got to work on. What about the checking the king, and then coming down, or wherever it was, checking the king and taking the pawn, like there was earlier in that position, which is something I mentioned, delivering a check and then moving to take the hanging piece. Just that kind of thing. Us beginners need to keep that kind of thing in mind. Anyway, hopefully this video helps somebody. That's it from me, Never the Chess, over and out. You can catch me on twitch.tv/neverthechess if you're interested. See you later.